Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
This is Wheel Bearings episode 453. I am Sam Abul-Samad from Telemetry.
And I'm Nicole Wakeland from Test Miles and Top Speed.
And I'm Roberto Baldwin from SAE International.
And welcome back, Nicole.
Thank you.
We missed you last week.
Yes, I missed you, but I was having a lovely time on my vacation.
Did you have fun at Disneyland? Disney World or Disneyland?
Disney World.
Okay.
Yes, I had a fabulous time. We were there for a week. We went fishing on Bay Lake. You guys, I caught a fish and I held it. I held the fish. I held his slimy body. It was awesome.
Did you then eat it or did you throw it back?
No, it's a catch and release, so we throw it back. But I caught the biggest fish of our little excursion. He was like 4-point-something pounds. And it was also, I caught the most fish. I caught 18 fish.
Wow.
Yeah. I got as much as my own, and both my husband and my daughter's fiance got together. I just like to point it out that I was the best fisherman on the boat, except for the guy who was the actual guy. He's like a retired guy who now works at Disney, does the fishing tours. And it was funny. He's like, yeah, sometimes there's a lot of fish here. And he throws the rod out. I swear to God, the line hit the water. And he's like, bing, oh, see, there you go. I'm like, okay, fisherman.
So was this like an enclosed, stocked lake that was just packed with fish?
No, it's the huge, it's actually, he said they're natural at this point. It's a huge lake, the Bay Lake, which is a giant water, like they run boats and stuff across it from the parking lot and stuff. It's a huge lake in front of Disney World that a whole bunch of the hotels are located around. It's actually quite big. And they have, I forgot what he told me, was it bass? Maybe? And I think it was bass. But yeah, you can, I think they may have stocked it once upon a time, but they don't anymore. There's just a ton of them. So yeah.
But since everybody has to throw them back, it keeps the population.
Right. You're not supposed to actually be fishing to keep them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. And you didn't get a chance to drive the Honda Ridgeline that was parked in your driveway.
No, unfortunately,
right?
I told them I couldn't take a car, and there was some, so a Honda Ridgeline lived in my driveway, but I did not actually take said Honda Ridgeline. It just sat there, and now, in case you're wondering if there's a pollen season in New Hampshire, because it has sat untouched for a week, I got home like, whoa, it's covered with
a little,
pollen.
little dusty, little yellow?
Oh, I could clearly write, like, the name of the show on it, and you would see it.
All right. Robbie, I think you have something that you drove before, but you weren't allowed to talk about yet last week. So can you tell us about it now?
I drove the 2027 Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the sexiest of classes. I don't know. Anyway, the S-Class sedan. This is the luxury vehicle, unless you're like a billionaire and you get a Maybach
Which is really just a fancier version of a Mercedes.
Which is just a crazy fancy version of an S-Class. It's like you but nice, like that. If you watch what was that? Secession. They had a lot of Maybachs in that show, which makes a lot of sense because those people are supposed to be bazillionaires. That said, yeah, I drove it. It drives as you would expect, really, to be honest. Unless they really, Mercedes, yes, they have to make changes. Yes, they have to make updates. And they did make a lot of updates, sort of on little things, big things. Today, they still have to deliver that S-Class driving and passenger experience. And they did. The front, there's a design update to it. The interior now has the super screen as opposed to the hyper screen, which the screen and the I mean, it's not weird. I mean, it's just how every other car is, except for the CLA. I don't know. It's a very weird decision on the screen situation in the vehicle. It still works, still has MBUX, which is, I think I've said again, like really the only infotainment system that I can use without like having to use my phone for anything. And again, it's just a big map. It's just a big map with little widgets around for all the things you need to do. That's it. That's all we want. We just want a big map so we know where the hell we're going. So they have three engines for or not engines, I'm sorry, powertrains. There's actually only 2 engines. You have the S500. All these are 4MATIC, so they're all all-wheel drive. You have the S500. It has an inline 6. The inline 6 motor has been updated. Mercedes has been doing a lot of stuff with compression in order to make these vehicles a bit more efficient. It's a mild hybrid, so the S power, their little S, I believe it's called the E-Booster or East Booster. Has been updated as well, so you have that boost at the low end to sort of, get you going, get a little extra something while you're driving. They have the S580E 4MATIC, which is the inline 6, but it is a plug-in hybrid, and you're getting, I don't know how much range, to be honest. They don't have the EPA numbers. Probably a lot. It does have essentially a 22 kilowatt hour battery pack in there, so it's probably going to do pretty well. And it is. And then finally, they have the S580 4MATIC with the V8. And so they changed the V8. They put a flat crankcase. So they put a crankcase in there that is typically for like race motors.
Flat plane crankshaft.
Flat plane crankshaft. Thank you. And so what happened? But the problem with that is A, they don't sound as cool as a regular V8, and B, they vibrate like a son of a bitch. It's like dut, 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 dut. So what they end up doing is they end up putting that motor in there to get that efficiency. It's on the Miller cycle, like like we saw on the CLA. And they've added little things to reduce the vibration, so the vibration is gone, and they changed the exhaust manifold valving, and so that it sounds like a V8. And I drove all 3 of these vehicles, and it sounds like a V8. It's got, I drove it on the Autobahn. Boom, it's ready to rock. It's ready to roll. It does really well, which means that there's actually 3 sort of flavors for the S-Class, to be honest. So there's the driver. If you're the driver and you're like, I want, you get the V8. You get the S580E. If you're buying this vehicle specifically just to take people around, you get the 580E. You get the hybrid, or the plug-in hybrid, because in E mode, in electric mode, it is so smooth. It's so nice.
So if you're driving those billionaires around Manhattan,
yes,
right, you get the 580. Yes.
You get the S580E. You get the hybrid.
Yeah.
You get the one it's smooth. It's nice. It has plenty of power when you need it. But most of the time, it's just a nice, quiet, hey, you want to sit in the back and take a nap because this car is not going to bother you. And then you have the 580, which is sort of I guess the Goldilocks. I don't know. It's the inline 6. That's the one I drove most of the time while I was in Germany, driving the car. It drives really well. It has plenty of power. It's just like, hey, I have this car. I don't really need to spend the money for the V8. I don't always pick up people. So yeah, I think the 500, that's probably going to be the lease vehicle. Someone has it, they buy it, they drive it around, they put their family in the back. That all said, they've done a lot of stuff to this vehicle. They come with 4.5 inches of rear steering, up to, optional 4.5 degrees of rear steering. Inches.
Well, depending on how big your tires are, you turn it 4 or 5 degrees, it could move it 10 inches.
Yeah, and it does have the optional 10 degrees of rear steering. The Super Screen is like 14.4 inch, so it's big, it's fine. The passenger screen, I used it, and again, I think it's the same thing that every time I use a passenger screen is, okay, I did it because I have to. I know my drive partner, when they were driving it, I looked over to it and I couldn't see what they were doing, which is great. Nick Miles, Nick's like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, I can't, Nick. It's got the new generation of MBUX. which is fine. MBOS, these they're sort of software defined vehicle software, which is impressive because they're kind of the only Mercedes kind of the only people who have a software defined gas cars. So they got that. It's a little bit more difficult versus an electric car, to be honest. Let's see what else. It also has that cool, they have their air suspension, which is great, but they also have this sort of cloud-based air suspension system. Whereas if one Mercedes goes over a bump, it tells the cloud, hey, there's a bump in this exact spot, and then every other Mercedes primes, that vehicle for that bump or that pothole or that, whatever thing that's going on in the road. It's really difficult to sort of test that, though. Like, how do I test that? How do I know it's better than it wouldn't? Because we were all driving on the same, the same roads. We're all going over the same. So
they need to have you drive the road once and then wipe the cloud and then have you drive it again after they update the cloud.
That was the only way. I was like, I don't.
Or what they do is, they have you drive the road and then they go out and put a temporary speed bump there, and have you following somebody else as they drive over the speed bump and see if it impacts your car.
To be the first person to drive over the speed bump and then go back and get another car and then drive over the speed bump so I can see the difference.
It would be complex to make this happen.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Does it really update that fast, Roberto? Is it that
I don't
quick?
know. I don't know how quickly it updates it. I really didn't think about that because I don't think they were like, oh, we're going to have a train of S-classes.
We're going to have 45 S-classes for you to hop in and out of to test this theory.
Just have faith that that they're telling us the truth.
They know what they're doing over at Mercedes. It's fine.
I guess. I don't. Sure, why not? Okay. The back seats are comfortable. You get a little. You used to get like this tablet in the rear seat to sort of control like all the extra bits. Now each person gets their own like phone-sized little controller. You could also do it with the display if you had the display in the back seat. The only version of the car we had that didn't have the display was the V8, which you can get the display in the back seat if you want. Just that's how they option that vehicle. It's got all, it's comfortable. Those rear seats are so, like, the front seats are very comfortable when you're driving. And then you get in the rear seat for a little while. You're like, oh, yeah, this is the stuff. It's so nice. You can watch it. Yeah. And they keep talking about how you can do Microsoft Teams meetings in the back of the Mercedes. I guess that's the selling point. I don't know.
Because everybody loves Microsoft Team meetings so much when they're sitting at their desk. They just want to continue it when they're in the car.
Right? You just never want to give up that Teams meeting because Teams is such a joyful experience.
Well, at the end of the day, you have rich people who make a lot of money, who are probably CEOs or VPs, and there's going to be a meeting while they're in there. And they can either hold their phone, which is like, oh, I've done this in the car, or you can have the team. And I tried it out. I had a Teams meeting with me. I just... I used like 2 of my email accounts and I logged in and it worked. And I'm like, oh, this is really nice. If I needed to have a Teams meeting back here, I could.
To be fair, I have done team meetings in the car, but I just like, even when I'm driving, just voice only, and usually just put myself on mute just so I can listen in and let everybody else do the talking. Yeah,
that's usually how I do it when I'm driving. Because it's in CarPlay, and I'm sure it's in Android Auto.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a phone call. Let's see. Yeah, they all have a lot of power. Let me see. The inline 6 442, the 580e 576, and the V8 530. They are all incredibly, at speed over 200 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn. They all very tight, even though they're still very smooth. Again, there's no pricing on these vehicles yet. They will be available Q3 and Q4. I think Q3 for the 580 and the 500, Q4 for the 580e. They have the digital lights. There's adaptive high beam, which I'd be really excited to try out. Typically, they don't let us drive. We don't do drive programs at night. So when we go to Europe and we drive these cars and they're like, hey, we have these adaptive high beams, and then we just never get to test it. So that'll be interesting. We'll have that in the United States. Overall.
Will that be the first Mercedes to have that feature in the U.S. market?
I believe so. I think it's going to be the first one. So that'll be nice. And what it does is it masks. So if I'm driving in my Mercedes and there's a car coming the other direction, I can still have like these really nice bright high beams because it masks out that oncoming vehicle. It essentially makes a mask so that person doesn't get blinded. So we're not blinding people anymore with our vehicles, but able to see the road. So it puts a dark spot where that person is at. So that's nice for them. It's nice for me. If you've ever driven a Miata or a BRZ or any sort of low vehicle and you have oncoming trucks,
Yep.
No matter what, it would be nice. I would be very happy if they brought more of this to the United States. It took NHTSA. It's a long story with NHTSA. It's not worth getting into it now. At the end of the day, they just hate joy and freedom.
But they did actually change the regulation, like back in 2022, or might have even been 21, to allow for these. And just so far, one of the only companies that's actually deployed these on vehicles in the U.S. market is Rivian. When they did the refresh of the R1 a couple of years ago, they added adaptive headlights on there. And I was driving an R1 at night, driving along a rural road, and, full high beams on, and then I see the headlights of an oncoming car, and then all of a sudden it dips, and there's like a cutout where the car was. So everything around the car was fully lit, but then it went to low beams in the area where the oncoming car was, and then as soon as we passed, then it went back to full high beams everywhere again.
I wonder, because I know I was talking to Audi like years ago about this, and they're like, the hardware's there, we're just waiting to update the software. I wonder if there's a difference between the U.S. and the European version of this. I think there's something like a little weird that they
in terms
have
of the
to figure
regulation.
out. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so I don't know. It's I should probably ask somebody. I haven't. S-Class. It's an S-Class. It drives well. It's quick. It's solid. It's quiet. It's smooth. It's all the S-Class things.
It's everything an S-Class should be.
It's everything an S-Class should be. I also saw the Guard version, which is the, if you're being attacked by people version of the car. They had that there. And that was really interesting. Like the glass is like a couple inches, and then the inside is a polycarbonate, so that even if something does penetrate like glass and stuff, it'll catch it within the polycarbonate. It has if someone deploys, like, say, tear gas, you can shut all the vents, and there's a tank of oxygen or of air in the back of in the trunk. So for like 30 minutes of like cruising around, you can shoot out the tires, and they'll go for 80 kilometers at 30 miles an hour. No, 30 kilometers at 80 kilometers an hour. So you can still, because it has those Michelins that have like essentially just a thing of rubber on the inside, inside the tire. So your red flats. It has a fire suppression system. It's so thick that you can't hear anything, but it has microphones so you can hear everyone outside the car. It has a little PA system so you can hassle people. You can't buy it in the U.S. There's like all these weird regulatory, like who can buy it, where they can buy it, etc. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, Mercedes-Benz Guard. Oh, cool. And it weighs so much that it's like 9.5 tons that you have to get a special license.
The Guard version.
Yeah, you have to get a special license for it because it weighs so much in like Europe. Also, they will teach the driver how to drive it. You can go and take a class because it's so heavy. It's got the V12.
So do you have to get a CDL to drive that thing?
I guess so. You have to get a CDL, and Mercedes will teach your driver how to drive the car because, again, it's 9.5 tons with a V12. It's the only V12 you're going to get unless you're getting a Maybach.
So it's kind of like driving the Beast, the president's Cadillac limo, which is also it's basically it looks vaguely like a Cadillac sedan, except it's built on a GM heavy duty truck platform.
Yeah, it just looks like that thing looks like a tank. The S-Class just looks like an S-Class, and then unless you put the weird flags in the front, and then you're like, well, now we know.
All right. Anything else on the new S-Class?
Nah, I'm sure I'll think of something later, but you can
Okay.
you can look it up.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Did you know you can support Wheel Bearings directly? Head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia and you can become a patron today. Your contributions will help fund the platforms and tools we use to bring the podcast to you. And exclusives and improvements are already on the way thanks to your generosity. So if you want to be part of an automotive podcast like no other, head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia. We've updated the Wheel Bearings merch store, and now there's a whole bunch of new choices, new colors, new styles, T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, travel mugs, stickers, aprons, tote bags, you name it. You can get your Wheel Bearings merch at shop.wheelbearings.media. Go check it out. That's shop.wheelbearings.media. All right. Well, I had kind of the opposite of the S-Class, which is the 2026 Nissan Sentra SR, which actually, I really like this car. I've said this before, and it's still true, for a relatively affordable car, and there are not so many of these around anymore, that is affordable cars. The Sentra, is good. It's not like, if I think back 15 years, back to about 2010, Nissan introduced a version of the Sentra, which at the time they advertised as the cheapest car available in America. It was under $10,000. And this thing, it had no air conditioning, no radio in it, and manual crank windows. And it was $10,000. And they did not sell very many of them. And they only had it for a couple of years for this special version of, and this was in the time right after the big financial meltdown in 2008 and 2009. So they brought out a cheaper version of the Sentra. The Sentra is now the cheapest car in the Nissan lineup in North America. And I think the base Sentra is actually, it's not the cheapest car you can get in the U.S. I think the Hyundai Venue is still a little bit cheaper. And I think they still have some stock of Versas. It's still listed on the Nissan website. So if you can find a Versa, you can get those for cheaper. But the Versa is going away for 26 model year. So there's 2025 Versas. But the Sentra, is their compact. So this is their car that's competing with the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla and the Hyundai Elantra and the Kia K4. And, it's a good car. It starts at $22,600. The one that I had was the SR version. There's three trim levels. There's an four trim levels, SV, SR, and SL. And the SR is, Nissan has long used the SR badge, to denote a slightly sportier, usually only visually sportier, not actually functionally sportier version of the car. And the SR starts at $25,000. The one that I had was, let's see, what is the official name of this color? It's a blue. I cannot find the color on the Monroney, but it's a blue. So this one was a two-tone with a blue body and a black roof, and it actually looks quite good. And compared to that cheapo Sentra of 15 years ago, this does not feel like like really cheap. It's got the same infotainment and everything that you'll find on every other Sentra. So you get two 12.3-inch displays behind a single sheet of glass. It's roomy enough. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, 149 horsepower, 146 pounds-feet of torque. CVT for 26. They've done some recalibration work with the CVT, so it doesn't drive quite like doesn't have the worst characteristics that we expect of CVTs with the rubber banding, the motorboating effect. It does some simulated shifting in there, so it feels okay. It's certainly not a speed demon, with 149 horsepower, but it's quick enough. It will easily, merge into traffic on the highway. It gets reasonable fuel economy. It's reasonably roomy, even in the back seat. It's got a decent sized trunk. I would personally like to, since it's a modern fastback sedan, I would like to have it as a hatchback, so you can get more stuff in there. But I remember last fall when they did the launch drive of this, they had one on display with the rear seats folded down and like a 65-inch TV fit in there, through the opening, no problem at all. So you can fit, big, long objects, just not too excessively tall, through the trunk opening. There's only a minimum use of piano black in here, a little bit around the shifter, and then a little bit around the volume knob in the center of the dashboard. The rest is various textures of non-shiny grays, a few different shades of gray and some black in there. When you touch it, it's most of the surfaces are hard plastic, but they're nicely textured, so it doesn't look super cheap. It's not like the kind of stuff we would have seen in the past where it's just like a completely untextured smooth plastic. So it's actually drives surprisingly well. It's got decent steering feel. It handles reasonably well. It's got good ride control. And if you're looking for some relatively basic transportation, if you want to buy a new car and you want a new car warranty and everything, and you've got a minimal budget, the Sentra is a really good choice. I would probably go with like the SV, which starts at $23,370. There were certainly lots of options on the one that I was driving, the SR. This one came to a grand total of $32,070, which by today's standards is still relatively cheap, although it's not the most affordable car. You want to take a guess at the destination charge?
$1,295.
$995.
Nicole got it. It was $1,245.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
I
I'm on
should've
fire
said-
after my vacation.
I should have said $11.95 and then made math. Then Sam do math.
So this one, had the $2,300 premium package with the sport leatherette seating, 6-way power driver's seat. What else here? Bose premium audio system. A lot of stuff that you can probably make do without. If you don't really need it. $650 for the sunroof. Again, it's nice, but you can certainly go without that. So you can get this down, back, certainly down into the mid-20s, if that's where your budget can afford. It's rated at 32 miles per gallon combined. I was averaging about 30 over the course of a week, so not too bad at all. So like I said, if you're looking for, some affordable, basic transportation, a new car warranty, the Sentra is actually a really good choice to consider. I would like to see a version of this with, say, the e-Power system at some point. But for now, you're not. It's not bad. You can do all right with this.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's carry on. So, Robbie, you actually just bought a new car.
I bought a car. I've never purchased a new car. This is our first new car. Both my wife and I. We've never purchased. We've leased new cars.
Is it really? This is the first time. Wow.
First time we've ever bought a new car. We've purchased used cars. We've leased new cars, but we've never bought a new car. And after 2 years with the Ioniq 5, we got an Ioniq 5.
There you go.
So our lease was up. The deals are very, very good on the Ioniq 5. We paid.
And gas is very, very expensive in California.
Gas is, yeah. We have the infrastructure. We have charging on our house. We have, it just makes sense. We don't like paying for gas if we can help it. So yeah, we got a 2026 Ioniq 5. It's got the rear wiper. It's got some other things that make it better. More range, more power.
Got a J3400 charge port.
Yeah, it's got an AX charge port. It comes with the CCS to NAX and the AC to NAX adapter. It's got all the bits. It's a color. We got the digital teal.
What color? Is that the really crazy bright one?
No, it's not. It's kind of like a dark
teal.
Like a dark green.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
It's not really teal though. I don't know what.
Honestly, it's kind of blue. I mean, I guess teal
kind of
is
like a blue green. Yeah, it's like more like you look at it in the sun, you're like, oh, greenish.
Actually, as I read what AI came up with when it gave me a picture of it, it's a unique color-shifting metallic paint with striking hues shifting between green, deep teal, and this is my favorite part, a sinister gray.
Sure.
Just love AI.
What's interesting is that we went to our local dealership and they know me. They know what I do. But was it Handless Hilltop Hyundai? It was. I mean, we're a pretty easy sell. I've driven a car. I know everything about the car. But yeah, they're always like really nice. It's like the one dealership I've ever been to where like both the service center and the actual sales department are actually nice people. Like the guy who runs the place came by and like was chatting with us, was really nice. And so Joel was like our sales guy, and even the finance guy was everyone was it was a pretty seamless, except for like having to figure out how to get money from the bank to them, because you got to get on the phone, because you got to, we wanted to put a big down payment down, because we took there's two different incentives. There's a $3,000 incentive where you get like 0 APR. Cool, right? And there's an $8,700 incentive where you have to pay an APR. But our plan is like, whenever I do, I have the job at SAE, but I'm allowed to do freelance. Anytime I do freelance, I just throw that money at the car. So the car is it's cheap, quicker than we would if we did it the other way. And the differentiation between having the paying for that APR versus the having 0 APR is like $2,000. So as soon as I pay more than $2,000, we're already ahead. So, and if you're paying cash, but we got an SEL rear wheel drive for like $31,000. It was like $30,000 and some change, so I'll just say $31,000, which is funny because I'm looking at the paperwork and I'm like, all right, cool. And then I remember like we're gonna have a $35,000 Model 3, and it's gonna be this and this and this, and it's gonna be. And then I realized I'm like, wait, we have that electric car now. That whole. Yeah. That whole maybe it'll be 35, maybe it won't. This is without incentives and stuff. Hyundai put some pretty deep, without any federal incentives. So Hyundai put some pretty deep things. And then if you live in California or Colorado or some places, like you can get like incentives to put charging on your house. You can get incentives for because you bought the car. You can there's some other things. I have to look it up. I'm too lazy to do that right now. But we have 2 Ioniq 5s for like 2 weeks because they're like, oh, you want to drop off your other Ioniq 5? I'm like, no, I still got two weeks of time on that. I've already paid for it. I'm getting my money's worth. Plus, that car still has the free EA charging for 30 minutes, Electrify America charging. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get some Electrify America charging out of this because we rarely charge it at the charging station because we just charge at home, even though it's free because it's convenient. We just plug it in, boop, and then in the middle of the night it charges when electricity is the cheapest. But yeah, so yeah, we got a new car. It's pretty cheap. We had a nice experience with our dealership. It's all very weird.
Yeah, well, especially having a good experience with your dealer.
I know, the experience with the dealership. I was like, I think I'm going to talk about this because I've had experiences with dealerships where I'm just like, I'm so angry at you. I'm like you're stop it, stop! You're trying to rip me off. I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. Please shut up.
Well, it's usually the F&I guy that is the one that's they're the ones that keep you there the longest.
They're like, do you want to get some, do you want a protection for your catalytic converter? I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, well, when we bought the Civic back in 2017, they tried to offer me an additional insurance policy to pay for the radar sensor if the radar sensor got damaged.
What?
Yeah. It's like the radar sensor cost $40.
The last new car we bought, when we bought Rose's car when she first started college, they wanted to sell her a million things. As we were sitting there, Rose just kept looking to me, and I'm like shaking my head like, nope, none of those things. And one of them was a rust proofing, like, what was that old Rusty Jones or whatever. Yeah, like a whole big thing. And I'm like, she's looking at me, and I'm like, no. He's like, well, in Wisconsin winters, no, we would not like that. Thank you very much. Take all of your fancy things away. No.
When we got Kona, which was at a different dealership, that was good. We went to a different dealership because the one that we go to is like 2 miles from our house. Because they had a color, they had a blue one, but they were like, oh, we have there's a track that we installed. It's like $1,500. I'm like, no. They're like, but we already installed it. I'm like, I don't care. That's not what I want. We didn't, and they kept bringing the price down. Like, how about $700? I'm like, no. Like, but then you can track the car, and they kept bringing it. It was like, by the end, they're like, well, how about $100? I'm all, no. They're like, but what if your car gets stolen? I'm like, I don't care. That's insurance's problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not a classic car. It's not like some fancy. It's a car. It's there's if this car gets destroyed, they've made more. It's not like I don't have a '67 Corvette sitting here. I don't have. It's not, it's not anything that like you haven't made thousands upon thousands of, that if this one gets this, stolen and broken or whatever, okay, insurance will take care of it. And then I'll just go out and get another one or the different one or whatever.
Well, since you have a brand new Ioniq 5 in the driveway now, I assume that means that you won't be looking to purchase the new 2027 VW ID Buzz Tourer.
I love with all of its warts. I think I said this the other day on Blue Sky. I'm like, the ID Buzz is like the Jeep Wrangler. It's like, don't buy it. You shouldn't buy it. You're never going to do the thing. For years up until the latest generation, the Wrangler was just a bad car. but I still want one. It's the same thing with the ID Buzz. I was like, oh, I can put all the dogs in it. Like, everything about it is great except for the price and the fact that it's a premium vehicle on a 400-volt architecture. It's like, come on. I mean, as a fleet vehicle, yeah, that's fine. You don't need 800 volts for a fleet vehicle. You can just plug it in at night. You run your business with it, whatever. But as when you're trying to sell it to people, and it's only a few $1,000s less than the new iX3, which is 800 volts, has more range, blah blah. You can just name off the grocery list of things that make it better. The essentially the $10,000 worth of cool stuff that doesn't have, the ID Buzz doesn't have.
But you can't put a bed in the back of the iX3.
You can. You can go. I found out online they make beds for like almost any car that has a hatchback, like little inflatable beds.
Well, for those that haven't been paying attention, VW, we've talked about before, VW took the 2026 model year off in the U.S. for the ID Buzz because they had enough 25s left over to carry them through the 26 model year. So they stopped importing them. But now they're starting again for the 27s, and they've done some updates. And so for the 27s, all of them are getting a two-tone paint job. So no more solid color ID buzzes. And there's a new trim level called the Tourer, which comes with a fold-out mattress and a platform. So when you fold down the second and third row seats, put this platform and a mattress on there, and it's also got shades that you can put on all the windows, and you can use it as a camper. Which, if you got a bunch of dogs, you can put them in the back there, and they can just relax while you're
have a party, tripping. Dog party,
woohoo party.
So, no information yet on pricing for the ID Buzz Tourer, but it'll be around sometime this fall. Yeah.
But what's nice is have a camping mode or something that they've added to it. So previously on the ID Buzz, if you wanted the car to stay on, you had to buckle the driver's side seatbelt. You couldn't just get out of the car and get in the back and have it on.
It would automatically turn off after.
It would just turn off. Yeah. So you had to buckle the seatbelt in order to keep it on, which was what are you doing? I should have a camping mode or something. If you're selling this vehicle as this all-encompassing sort of fun utility vehicle, and then you immediately no, we're going to turn that off as soon as you get out of the seat.
We're going to turn it off for every second you step out of the seat. I can imagine that being super annoying. If you're loading up, if you've got you're trying to load in the car, and, oh, I forgot this, you run back. That's got to be annoying as heck.
Yeah,
drives me crazy.
It turns the vehicle off. One of the things I learned with I'm sure the new one has the same thing, but with the Hyundai, you can't lock the doors if the car's on. So I couldn't leave the dogs in the car with the air conditioning on and lock it. So what you have to do is you turn off the car, you lock the car, and then you can turn on the air conditioning or the climate control.
Yeah, you use the remote start.
With your phone, you can just say, oh, I want climate control on. And so then your dogs are nice and cool while you run in and get your burger. I typically don't, I don't think I've ever gone shopping with the dogs in the car, but I have run in to get food. But even that few minutes of, if you ever sat in a car when you turn it off in the summer, 3 minutes later, oh, I'm in a, even though, it's the Bay Area, ooh, it's 70 degrees. It still gets really hot in the car.
It does.
Yeah. Well, so you turn it off, turn the air conditioning on, the blasted, and they come out and they're all staring at me where you been?
What are you doing, man?
I was out in California this week to drive the new Lexus ES, and we can't talk about driving impressions until next week. But I asked if the ES has a dog mode, and they don't. But they mentioned the same thing. That you can just lock the doors and then use the smartphone app to turn on to remote start and turn on the air conditioning. It's why they it's
just take
such
the
a
extra
simple
little
thing.
step. Just take the extra step to have a button that says dog mode, so you can lock the car and it keeps the climate control on. So I don't have to turn off the car, lock the car, turn on the climate control.
Yeah,
just one little button. Boop. Boop.
It's always those one little extra steps that trip everybody up.
One little just one thing.
All right, so Honda had their annual business, their annual call this week, their Honda business briefing for 2026, and they had a bunch of information to share. We've obviously heard, in recent months of Honda basically canceling all their North American EV plans. They're pushing all their EV stuff out. Now they've shifted their target for being fully electric out to 2050. But they did
None of
talk
us going to
about
be alive that far from now.
Who knows?
I guess I could be, but do I want to?
Let's see. That's what, 24 years?
Yeah.
Could maybe be alive.
I guess.
Not sure if we'll want to be alive in 2050, but
yeah, I got to fight for water. I don't know. A thing I feel like doing.
But they are making a full press with hybrids over the next 4 years between now and 2030. By the end of their 2030 fiscal year in March of 2030, they are planning to launch 15 next generation hybrid models globally. and most of those are going to be here in North America. When I was over in Japan last October, had a chance to drive one of the prototypes with this, and it was really good. And so it's basically an evolution of the current gen hybrid that you have in the Civic and the Accord and the CR-V, which is mostly a series hybrid, but has a clutch to couple the engine to the wheels at higher speeds, at highway speeds, for a little bit better efficiency. The next generation one has 2 sets of gears and 2 clutches, so that it expands the range where it can do that. But it's still going to be mostly series hybrid, so mostly running on electricity, like a Nissan e-Power system. And probably the first models to get that, they showed 2 prototypes, the Honda hybrid sedan prototype and the Acura hybrid SUV prototype, which are basically previews of the next generation Accord and the Acura RDX. So the current gen RDX already went out of production in the last month or 2 in Ohio. They built ahead, and the new one should be coming sometime in 2027, I think. I think in 2027. And then that, so this one, looks a lot like the MDX, but a little bit smaller. And it will have this new generation hybrid system in there. In 2028, it's also getting Honda's next generation ADAS system, their driver assistance system. And we haven't had a chance to talk to Honda about this yet, but presumably this is the system that they were developing for the 0 Series. And so we may see level 3 coming to vehicles like the RDX and some of the other models in the next few years.
Both these cars seem very angry with me.
Angry?
They got very sinister.
Sinister. As sinister as the sinister gray?
They got sinister gray vibes.
They got sinister gray vibes.
If you look at the lights, they're like,
Yeah. Well, especially the sedan, very, very sharp lines. It's definitely.
The sedan. I guess I don't see it in the SUV, but no. I think that's a sinister sedan.
It's a very different look for Honda compared to what they've had for the last few years.
That's what they should call it, the Honda hybrid.
I mean, I like it. I don't know if I like the back of the sedan.
It's got like this creepy kind of swoop thing going on.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to pull that off and make it look good. We'll have to wait until we see what it looks like. But yeah, no, Honda Sinister hybrids.
Mm-hmm. Honda
We're gonna get
hybrids.
And I'm sure they'll.
Let's see.
I'm very disappointed in Honda with their EV stuff because it just seems like the timing was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it makes sense, but there's some expense situation in the background where they're looking at it and going, "This is not going to pay off in the time frame we need to pay it off."
Well, they didn't think it would. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think there's
right at the time they made,
and they're still doing stuff
by the minute.
And again, it's mostly North America. Because you look at the North American market and you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. That's every automaker's essentially like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just keep doing the thing or not do it. Who knows?
They are expanding their EV lineup in Japan and elsewhere with their K cars.
In China, they have their partnerships in China. They want to do more EVs, and they're still doing all the work on the solid state batteries, which would kind of suck if they crack the solid state battery thing and then we don't get it.
Yeah. So they're launching the new N-Box EV, which is one of these little taller K cars for the Japanese market. It's basically sort of a K van, mini micro van, I guess you could call it, and they've got the Vezel as an EV, which is the overseas version of the HR-V, which is smaller than the HR-V that we get here. But they, even though they abandoned their EV plans, they are going to be using the battery plant that they built with LG in Ohio. But it's going to be producing batteries for the hybrids because they're basically going to be putting hybrids into everything they sell in North America. So, they're
Yeah.
starting with the, the new Accord, the RDX, but then, as each of the other models get updated over the next 4 years, they are all going to get the new hybrid system, and these will be assembled at the joint venture plant in Ohio, or the batteries will be assembled at the joint venture plant in Ohio.
Yeah. They'll, instead of making like 80, 100 kilowatt hour battery packs, they'll be making like 25.
Yeah.
20. Man, this Super N looks so awesome. We're not going to get it because America hates fun.
Yeah, well, to certify that to meet U.S. crash standards and everything, it would end up being too expensive. I mean, this would be like probably a $30,000 car, and you'd have a hard time selling those here at that.
I don't know,
point.
man. Still pretty dope.
You think you
anyway?
Yeah.
I just bought a $30,000 car, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
But it's a lot bigger than a Super N.
Well, the Super N, you can put the dogs. I can still put the dogs in the back. I mean, that's literally all we care about. It's an EV. We put the dogs in the back, and it's not a piece of trash.
Yeah.
We do love 800 volt because we do drive a lot. We do take the dogs on a lot of, road trips.
So the Asimo OS that they were developing for the EVs, that is going to be applied to the hybrid models. But they are not apparently going to be putting the zonal architecture that was developed for the 0 Series into these cars. They're sticking with a domain-based electrical architecture. So
it's hard on gas cars. That's the fact that Mercedes is doing it is sort of crazy. It's really hard on gas cars.
Not really. It's not. It's
harder.
actually not.
It's harder.
Not really.
According to the people who build the cars, it's harder, Sam. And so I don't remember last time you built a car. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I just say it's hard. Like, at the end of the day, they're nickel and diming everything, so they're like, never mind. Who cares?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what's going on. That's the entire.
I have not built a car, so I would not know.
Let's see. Continuing on with automakers that are pulling back from some of their EV plans, Lotus, which is now owned by Geely in China, along with Polestar and Volvo and a bunch of other companies. They had planned to go all electric this decade. They launched 3 different EVs. They had the Avaya, 2,000 horsepower supercar, the Electra big electric SUV, and the Emera sedan. Now they've pulled back from that. Cars like the Electra is getting an e-Rev powertrain that they've already launched in China, and then Lotus just announced some plans for the next few years, including the development of an all-new hybrid V8 supercar, which is sort of the successor to the old Esprit. Because we need more of those.
Reinforcing brand DNA. A heavy car.
Yeah.
That's not the Lotus brand. I don't think Lotus knows what they're doing right now, to be honest.
The only car in the lineup that's even remotely close to the Lotus brand DNA is the Emira.
Yeah. We make light, quick, fun to drive cars. Here's a V8.
Yeah.
Blah.
They need to do a new Elise. That's what they need.
It's this reinforcing brand. I don't know what brand DNA they're reinforcing, but it's not the Lotus brand.
Yeah. But this Type 135, the hybrid V8 supercar, is scheduled to launch in 2028.
Oh, we got lots of time.
Years from now.
Who knows what's going to happen between now and then? I remember having conversations with them about their EV stuff, and I guess that all went out the window because now we got a giant hybrid V8 supercar, which again, just going to throw. Okay, sure. If you want to be Aston Martin, go for it.
But it is a 900 volt hybrid for whatever that's worth.
Okay, cool.
Cool, neat, yay.
Cool beans.
So So Lotus is targeting about 60% plug-in hybrids and 40% BEVs by 2030.
All right.
So
Cool.
we'll see.
40% BEVs. We'll see. I think how many cars they sell a year? 12, 13?
At least, yeah, maybe 20.
It's such a niche little brand, and it's I think for the last 20 years, it's just sort of people are like, oh yeah, Lotus is still a thing.
They're guiding towards a steady ramp up to 30,000 sales a year.
Oh my gosh.
Lotus has never sold anywhere near 30,000 cars in its entire history.
Yeah, I mean, it's Lotus wants to make a V8 super hypercar, and they want to make 1,000 of them. Fine, whatever. It's like when I talk to Bugatti about electrification, they're like, we don't. It doesn't matter. We're so small. It does, and most people who buy our cars don't even drive them.
Yeah, they build 150 cars a year, and most of the cars they've ever built, in the last 20 years have fewer than 10,000 miles on them. Most of them are probably less than 1,000 miles on them.
People buy them. They'll buy them. They'll sit in the garage, and they'll maybe get like 100. Who was I talking to? I don't know. Someone important over at Bugatti. I hope they're not listening to this. They'll be like, "What the hell, man? I took time out of my day to talk to you, and you can't remember my name." But they're like, we have cars that come up for sale with less than 100 miles, or people buy two of them, and one of them sits for sales, and which is just some bonkers money. When I'm just like, I can't. Right now I have 2 Ioniq 5s in my driveway, and I'm like, I'm living that Bugatti life, but one of them has to go back in a couple of days.
Bugatti life.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all just living the Bugatti life?
Bugatti life.
Yeah, I mean, 30. I mean, they sell 20,000 cars.
We've all got one of those empty condos in the really super skinny skyscrapers in Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got like 4 of those.
I have like
no one's
5,
ever in them.
Robbie. I've got 5. Just so you know, I have 5.
Yeah,
no
one
one's
in
ever
each.
in that
One in each of those buildings on Billionaires Row.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I'm living okay. I'm doing all right. One for each dog.
What about the cat?
The cats get one they share, so they can all cuddle together.
There you go. Okay, that's
actually
fair.
We couldn't separate the dogs. They'd lose their minds if they're not together.
All right. Let's stick with EV for a few more minutes. So Tesla is they've started testing supercharger wait lists. So Robbie, have you ever had to wait in line at a supercharger?
I'm not at a supercharger. I will tell you one. I've only had to wait in like a long line more than like 5 minutes once, and it's because we were driving back from Palm Springs, and it was Christmas.
Oh.
It was like the day after Christmas, and so we had to wait like an hour and a half. And I was explaining to my wife that there was a Tesla supercharger, like 50 stations, like right over there, that people could just drive up and use. And she's like, "What?" And so when I told her that the new Ioniq 5 has that charging station, that 99.9% of the time we're going to charge at home, and we might use the Tesla supercharger station once. She's like, "Yeah, that's good enough for me."
That'll work.
Oh, you know what? When in the early days, I had to wait for superchargers. Back when there was like one in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I mean now there's so many of them.
When I was reviewing the Model S and Model X, that's how long ago it was. Yeah, those cars
back in the olden times.
Back in the olden times.
So let's see, where is it here? So Tesla, I guess at 5 stations in the Bay Area, in the app they have a virtual wait list that you can sign up for. So if you get to a supercharger, and like you said, so many of these superchargers now, have 30, 40, 50. I think there's a couple that have over 100 chargers now, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
But they in the app you can sign up for the wait list, at the location you're at. So instead of fighting with other drivers, like I was here before you were, I get that charger next. Now you get a number on your app, and when it's your turn, you pull up to whichever charger is has been emptied out. And that's I think that's actually a much better solution. For what it's worth, in U.S. and Canada right now, there are currently 3,372 superchargers locations, with 40,476 charging ports. 40,000. Did I say 4,000? I meant 40,000. So over 40,000 superchargers that are available. But, some of these, on at certain times, like, certain holidays when a lot of people are traveling, especially along certain routes, they will get filled up. And so, I think every charge station operator should be doing this. I mean, it should be a no-brainer, to put something like that in there. If there's a line, just create a virtual line in the app, and you wait your turn. No more fights.
I think that's a good idea because you don't want to be fight. It's like, it reminds me of like when you go to a restaurant that doesn't have an actual wait list and you're all supposed to just wait. Like you're supposed to kind of right. And then
someone shows up and they don't know the line.
Somebody always shows up and
jerks.
walks to the front. And you're like, we're all following the rules. And then you jerk, you're the one who messed up the whole thing. And now we're all cranky because now we feel like we're going to get cut off waiting for our breakfast on a Sunday morning. Like one of the diners I like does that. And I don't go there because it makes me anxious. This would make me anxious, too, having to think, like, okay, I'm next. The charger, if that guy cuts me off, that jerk, I'm going to get mad. This would make it so there's never that jerk. He can't do that. You can all be like, I am next. Look at the app.
So does it, if you pull up, if it's not your turn, will it not let you charge?
Yeah, will it not let you? Will it go like, meh, make a really loud noise?
I think that's probably one of the things that they're evaluating. It doesn't really say. But
then what would happen if you somehow decided to drive away? You'd have to say it in your app, or maybe it only gives you like 5 minutes to get your acting gear and plug in before it would give it away.
Say, it probably gives you, a few minutes leeway. Right. And you have to get yourself organized. And, so if you walk away to go get a cup of coffee and, you lose your spot, that could be rather annoying. It may just shuffle you down the line. If you haven't plugged in within a few minutes, it could just shuffle you down the line, let the next person go.
If you just drive away and you don't turn it off, it's like the person they come out there, Smith. Right? Smith. All right, to hell with him, Jones.
And if Smith shows up eventually, they'll wedge Smith back in there, but now you got to wait for a little while.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So coming up this week is the Stellantis Investor Day, where they're going to reveal their strategic plan for how Antonio Filosa is going to save Stellantis and make it a viable business, which should be entertaining to say the least.
I mean, more power to this person. I mean, this is a giant pile of automakers that's sort of been mismanaged for so long. It's just like, I don't know.
That's just it. It's been so long.
Good luck.
And it's gotten into such trouble.
Yeah, I mean, every few years, it goes through some sort of reorganization or some sort of merger, and they revamp the product lineup, and they do great for a few years, make a ton of money, and then they just sit on it and do nothing. Mm-hmm. And or
bring back the Magnum. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That'll save everyone.
That would not be the worst idea in the world. But this time, they waited a long time before doing EVs, and then when they did EVs, they did not do a great job. They had a few issues, as Nicole can attest to.
Just a few, just tiny ones.
So anyway, there's been a lot of speculation about, what they're going to do with all their brands. They've got Stellantis has 14 brands, many of which do not sell very many cars. And one of those, is Chrysler, which, currently only has one nameplate for sale. They actually sell a fair number of Pacificas, but that is the only Chrysler
van. It might, well...
Mm-hmm.
I think the Pacific. Do you know what? Just get rid of everything. Pacifica Wrangler. That's all you need.
Well, you probably still need pickup trucks too.
Probably need.
I mean, the 1500 is a really good. That's a good truck. It's really. It's
really
the smoothest.
Like the 1500.
It's the
most. It's the least truck-like in ride, and I think that's nice.
Yeah.
So three cars. They have good cars. They just. They fill it up. Then they fill up all the cracks in the edges with like.
So, one of the things that happens in the auto industry is periodically automakers will they'll gather with their dealers and they will show them stuff that's coming in the future. And one of these things that they supposedly showed dealers actually last fall was a new sub $30,000 car called the Pronto for the Chrysler brand. And the last time they used the Pronto name was on a concept back in the 1990s, which was a PT Cruiser like concept, but it was a two-door. It's kind of a cross between the Prowler and a PT Cruiser. When you look at it, I sincerely hope this isn't the type of car that they decide to introduce to the Chrysler lineup. But
I mean, not that design. I think the idea.
Is this picture an actual picture? Is this thing I'm looking at
that is the actual concept from the 90s. Yeah, that's the Pronto concept.
I mean, really?
But that's not necessarily what they're what they're going to build.
Just that's the 90s concept.
Yeah. Whew. Just that they want to use that name.
That doesn't mean, okay, let's hope that doesn't mean they're going to use that design. Oh my gosh, both.
Yeah, I can't see them actually going back to this design.
Oh, that grill. That's terrible.
I'm trying. You know what I'm doing? I'm looking at Gen Z cartoons to see if it builds something that's like sort of. Dexter's Laboratory isn't a Gen Z cartoon. Come on, man. What is this? I'm closing this window. Now I'm just angry.
But I mean, do you think a sub $30,000 car for the Chrysler brand is what that brand needs?
Gosh.
I mean, if he can sell it. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, what is that brand anymore? To be honest, I mean, what was it, and now what is it? Before it was like the Lincoln of dogs.
It's not going to be that, and we don't want another Lincoln. Like that's an old school. How do you make it new school and not be like an old person's car? I mean, the Pacifica minivan is great. You make an affordable. If you made a good affordable car, make a nice little not a garbage car. It has to work. It has to look like it's decent quality, feel like it's decent quality, and run.
Let's just make a Maverick.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Yeah. I think it could do well if they make it well. And I have such doubts about that these days.
Yeah, that's
about their ability to manufacture it well, or
a little bit of all that.
Design it well.
Yes.
I mean, they're essentially going to be going up against Hyundai and Nissan.
That's the thing. There's some really good vehicles.
Both those automakers make really good, inexpensive cars.
That's it. It's not as if this is a segment that doesn't have a car, doesn't have a thing. There's things there that are very, very good. So if you want to be competitive with a new thing from a brand that has become nothing but one car, you've got to make it knock it out of the park. Do you think Chrysler can do that?
What if they put a Hemi in it?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
then it's its own animal, and who knows? They might sell 1 million of them, but.
But can they do it for $30,000?
Yeah, and then you got the design. What do you do? Because Nissan tried everything, the Juke, and all the sort of weird, fun things. It didn't really sell very well. I mean, they're cool cars. I mean, the Kia Soul. And that didn't even, that's a fun little weird car. But
quirky and fun is great, but quirky and fun doesn't generally mean volume for the most part. Yeah. Sometimes it does. I guess the Beetle was quirky and fun.
The worst car, one of the worst cars I've ever driven. But people loved it.
I had one as a rental. My car got in an accident, and that was my rental car. Oof. And I thought, I'm so excited I get to drive this.
So was I.
And then I got rid of them when I drove it. I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is it going to take for my car to come back from the shop, please?
Our next door neighbor has a PT Cruiser. It's her second one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she wore out the first one and then went and found another one.
People wait a minute, when you say PT Cruiser.
When you say she wore out the first one, did it have a ridiculous number of miles on it?
Oh, yeah.
Or did
it was well north of 100,000 miles on it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
people that love they love the design. They love the, what it, I remember we got a PT Cruiser. We were driving down to LA to do a video, me and my roommate. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm not feeling well. Can you go with me to shoot camera in case I'm not feeling well? Yeah. He's like, I'll rent us a car. I'll get us a PT Cruiser. We're all kind of excited. And then we started driving the PT Cruiser. I'm like, I kind of hate this thing right now. I wish I was dead.
You only got 400 miles to go.
I wish I was dead. That's like, how'd you like driving this car? I wish I was dead.
I wish I was dead. But people love the car. I'm like, all right, more power to you, but it's a horrible car.
The only time I actually drove a PT Cruiser was around like 2008, like towards the end of its production run. And it was this limited edition one that it was like stupidly expensive. And it still had like, this is, 2008, still had a 4-speed automatic transmission in it. And it was just,
wow.
It was not good.
It was just not a good
all.
car, but people absolutely, you know what? If you love your PT Cruiser, I'm happy for you because you love your car. That's all there is to it. I also would, if someone gave it to me, I would just light it on fire.
You know who else
gosh.
likes PT Cruisers? Tommy Micah.
Does he really?
Yes.
Does he have one?
But Tommy is like
No,
the
not yet.
nicest person.
But I wouldn't be
world.
surprised if at some point he does buy one.
But Tommy loves quirky little. That fits
Yeah.
Tommy Micah. I can
Yes.
see Tommy liking that car. Tommy Micah and a quirky car that goes together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to like driving it. He just likes the fact that it's wacky.
It's
Like,
just that exactly.
Someone's
no,
like,
it's
hey,
not
do you
great
want
to
a
drive.
Suzuki Samurai? I'm like, boom. Geo Trackle? Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
PT
He's
Cruiser?
just,
No,
he's
I
just
don't
gonna
like
have a car, like a garage full of all these weird, quirky cars, none of which are really fun to drive, but all are just super quirky, and he's gonna be happy.
Well, they just this is on TFL. They just posted a video that Tommy did with Case. One of their listeners who lives near them in Colorado has a vintage mint 1983 Chrysler LeBaron convertible with the
Oh my
woody
gosh.
sides and everything.
Wow.
And it's in great condition. And so they brought it over and they did a video with that. And it's got the voice system that, it doesn't listen to you. It just talks to you, tell you your door is ajar,
Your
please
door
fasten your
is a
seatbelts.
jar.
The door is a jar.
The
Yeah.
worst joke ever, and it is stuck from your door is not a jar.
So I'll put a link in the show notes to that one. It's worth watching. They actually kind of like the car.
I mean, it's hard not to like a convertible, even a bad one.
We had one of my husband's dearest friends had a turquoise colored one. It was like a turquoisey kind of colors, I remember. And Craig drove that thing forever. Like he drove it into the ground. It was done when Craig and he loved it. He absolutely loved that car.
Well, Frank Marcus used to have one. He and his husband had an 84 LeBaron wagon with the turbo 4-cylinder. And they bought that one because that was one of the cars that Frank worked on as an engineer when he worked at Chrysler in the 1980s before he became a journalist.
Oh,
wow. So they had that one for about 3 years before they sold it off.
The last Chrysler LeBaron convertible I saw on the road was in Switzerland.
Like a K-car LeBaron?
Yeah.
In Switzerland?
What?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It was like parked alongside the road in not in Zurich. We're like, what the hell?
How did you get here?
Exactly.
All right. Let's move on to Toyota. So first off, did you know that Toyota actually sells a version of the Corolla with a manual transmission and no radio?
Cool.
No. I mean, here? Where?
No, it's in Japan only.
That makes sense.
It's for driver training. This is the driver training model of the Corolla.
Could you just get one? I bet people would love that. That's the cheap car you need to have. Make that thing. Chrysler, make that, but yours.
That's just a slate now. Now you're just building a slate.
Well, I think it does have power windows, and it's got an automatic. You can get it with an automatic or a manual. So, like I said, this is the driver training model. So it does come equipped from the factory with the second pedal on the front passenger seat, the second brake pedal on the front passenger seat, so that when student drivers do something really colossally dumb, the instructor can slam on the brake pedal and bring the car to a stop. And then also, in place of the radio, because the Corolla's got kind of the stand-up tablet radio display in the center of the dashboard. So where the display would usually be, there's basically just a panel there that has a little speedometer readout and let's see,
an extra horn button,
brake indicator, and an extra horn button. So the instructor can hit the horn.
Meep, meep. I made mine sound like the Roadrunner. I'm not sure why.
Meep, meep.
It's also got extra mirrors on the outside. I'm not sure why they've got that. So there's like 2 extra little mirrors on top of the main mirror housings.
So you could, so the driver training person can adjust their mirrors because they're sitting in a different.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so you get a little extra, so you can see what's behind as driver training, and then the driver has their own mirrors for driving.
Yeah, so they
can hit the horn. Meep meep.
So in 60 years of continuous production of various Corollas, they've sold over 50 million of these things.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the best-selling car of all time by a pretty wide margin. Yeah. Yeah, it passed the Model T and the Beetle back in the 90s, in the early 90s.
Interesting.
All right. And then continuing with Toyota, they are apparently they've filed plans to build a new assembly plant in Texas, adjacent to their existing factory in San Antonio, where they build the Tundra and the Sequoia. So they're looking at a $2 billion assembly plant. No indication yet of, they're calling it Project Orca, but there's no indication of what they're going to build there.
Project Orca, they're building a whale.
Yep.
Yeah. So this would be, if it gets built, it would be their 6th assembly plant in the U.S. There's the story from Automotive News speculates that it could potentially be a compact pickup to go up against the Maverick. Another possibility would be the Tacoma, because currently the Tacomas are built in Mexico, and with the way the trade situation is, they could potentially be hit with significant tariffs on that from bringing those in from Mexico. And, that is one of their top-selling vehicles. The Tacoma is the best-selling midsize pickup in the market, over 250,000 sales in the U.S.
Yeah,
so,
this seems more likely.
Yeah.
It's Toyota. They got a lot of money. They're doing okay. They're the opposite of Stellantis.
Yeah.
The opposite.
They're doing all right. They got the money. They're like, you know what? Let's just build a factory. It's going to take a while. 2030. I don't think when people are like, just build a factory. I'm like, I don't think you understand how long it takes to build a factory. This is 4 years. This is from a company that has a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's going to take them 4 years, then yeah.
So Toyota also reportedly sent out a service bulletin to all their dealers, warning about a potential shortage of motor oil. And there's some other stories out there that are floating around out there in the last week about potential motor oil shortages.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how legit this all is. In the case of the Toyota thing, it was specifically referencing 0W8 and 0W16 motor oil. This is like really, really thin oil. And that's what they use in their hybrids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they're letting their dealers know that there may be shortages of this motor oil, and that it's okay if they need to do oil changes, they can use a heavier weight oil in these engines.
Viscosity. That's your word for the day, everybody. Viscosity.
Yeah. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about that.
I just bought an EV. Woo! Yeah. And you know what? I just had the oil change into my BRZ, so I'm rocking it. I'm good.
Yeah, I did oil changed on the Miata not that long ago, so I'm fine there too.
Boom.
Have you had the oil changed on all your cars, Nicole?
I mean, we have the oil changed on all my cars. You make it sound like I have a fleet. On the one
Well,
car
I guess, yeah,
I
you just have the
own.
one right now.
On all my car, yes, I do have the oil changed on all my car. Russ is actually pretty good about getting the oil changed on his little Wrangler 4xe. So he's good about that. He's not good about cleaning it. Man, I had to ride in it this weekend. Oh, baby, that thing is filthy inside. I think there's like little science projects happening in cup holders. I don't know what's happening.
Shaming her husband on the podcast.
Clean that thing out, man. I am. Maybe he'll hear it and then he'll start actually cleaning the car.
Okay. Do you either of you
and then
oil? I will swap a motor before I'll change the oil.
Do I change my own? I know how to. I can, but no,
Done.
thank you.
I used to change the oil all the time.
I feel like that goes in line with things like, when you're really like in your early 20s, you're just out of college and you move things yourself. You like pack up a U-Haul and you move all your stuff many times from one apartment to the next, eventually to a house. I don't do that anymore. I'm not U-Hauling stuff. I feel like that way about oil changes. Once upon a time, I wanted to save the money and do my own oil change. No, thank you. I'm now grown up. I want to pay somebody else to do that for me.
My friends would bring their cars
in the process
to
of
my house to
rebuilding our
change
deck.
oil. Oh, so
You did it. You were like the oil change guy.
Yeah, friends are like, "Hey, can you change my oil?" I'm like, "All right, sure." Now I'm like, "Nope, no." If someone's like, "Hey, can you fix the, can you help me swap like the power steering?" Oh yeah, I'll help you do that. Oh, the distributor. Yeah. The ignition. Yeah. I'll help you do it. We need a new starter. Yeah. Can you change your oil? No.
Yeah, I used to change the oil all the time. I'm currently in the process of rebuilding our deck. So
oh wow.
I still do stuff around here, but I haven't done an oil change in many years.
He still makes himself useful.
Yes.
Yeah, I still do stuff around the house.
I still do things
the
once
oil
in a while.
changes. The oil change to me, it's
messy.
The return on investment. It's messy. It's now I have this oil. I have to take it to the.
And then you got to go take the old oil
zone.
Somewhere.
You got to stand there and be like, "Hey, I got the old oil. Where do I pour it?" And they're like, "Oh, go over this."
No, none of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nobody. Nope.
Or they're like, "Our oil thing's full. You got to go to the other AutoZone because it's the weekend and everyone did it at the same time."
All right. Let's see. Volvo has a factory near Charleston, South Carolina, which is running slightly under capacity. Let's see. It has a capacity of 150,000 units a year. They last year built about 18,500 EX90s and Polestar 3s there. So slightly under capacity, which means that they are losing a ton of money on that because they still got all the overhead costs. So I've speculated that, they will add production. They've already said they're going to add production of the XC60 there. But, that's still only about another 45 or 50,000 units. So Volvo has said that they would be open to building vehicles for other manufacturers at the plant.
Hey, that's money, man.
Yeah.
It's money. You got to make it somehow. That's money.
Magnum probably isn't happy about that.
Well, Magna doesn't have any factories in North America, or at least not any vehicle assembly factories.
Exactly.
In North America.
That's probably why they're not happy.
So that
about
would,
that.
yeah.
Because then people who are like, "Oh, I'm building our car here or in Austria, well, I could build it here without tariffs at the Volvo plant." That's it's pretty smart.
It actually could turn out to be quite well.
High five to Henrik. Or Haken. Sorry, not Henrik. Henrik's the other guy.
Haken Samuelson.
Haken's like the opposite of Henrik. They pulled a guy out. He's like, "Every time I try to retire, they pulled me back." That's Haken.
All right. And then finally, BMW is at the Concorso d'Eleganza Villa d'Este in Italy, in Lake Como this week. And they showed off a couple of concept vehicles. Robbie is our resident motorcyclist. What do you think of the Vision K18?
Okay, sure. I mean, it's like a concept car. That's the thing is like when I see these bikes like this, they're like, they're like the concept cars out there. They're like, "Oh, cool." But like riding this would be like, okay, so I'm sitting way back. I mean, for me, it would work because I have like really long arms. I'm like a spaghetti monster. But everyone else is going to have to lean, like, I don't know. It's a concept. Fine, sure, whatever. It's like whenever someone shows up with like a like one of those really low slung motorcycles where you're like essentially like laying straight down on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like 2 inches. Like those look cool, but in reality, like, oh, I can't see anything that's going on. You can't see what's coming up. You can't see what's in front of the car in front of you. You can't see a damn thing.
It kind of gives me DeLorean vibes because it's that brushed steel, like the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
It's
It
the
looks
DeLorean
cool.
of motorcycles. It looks super cool.
It's got a 1.8 liter inline 6-cylinder engine, which is a lot of engine for a motorcycle.
They have a 2-liter bike right now. I rode.
Yeah, but it's not
That wasn't
it's not an inline
6.
six.
Yeah. It's cool, design, fun thing that, yeah, I mean, it's going to go fast, but it's the
Would you buy one? Or is it too...
Oh God, no. This thing's probably like an inline 6. You know how much this thing weighs?
Will that make
my
it so?
God.
Is the weight the heavy weight just like a car? Heavy weight's not great to drive, so you want it to be nice and light, right?
I mean, like cruisers are pretty heavy bikes.
Okay.
Like, the big, like, cruiser bikes and choppers and stuff. They're heavy bikes, but this thing's going to weigh way more than that because the size of the motor. And so now you have all this mass. And so, if you look at, you got that braking issues, turning, like when you stop,
And this
you
thing's
need to make sure
long.
you better have your feet your feet down on the ground as soon as you come even close to a stop. Because if you ever lay this thing down,
Oof.
well, that was the end of that. And let me tell you, like sometimes you'll lay a bike down for like the stupidest reasons. I was riding a DS, so it's a tall bike, and I parked in a garage, and it turned out the cement or the concrete was really slippery. And so I put my foot down, and it was raining, so my foot just slid out from under me, and I laid the bike down. I mean, in slow motion, but still, I'm like, all right. So, I tried my shoes and lift the bike up, and it was fine. Like, it didn't scratch or anything. This thing, you got to call like some friends, get a crane.
Hope there's a construction crew across the street. Be like, guys,
Yeah.
I need you for a second.
Again, it's a beautiful piece of art. It's a beautiful, it's a kind of a cool concept. But at the end of the day, there are people who like, I love this bike. I would buy this bike. That's not me. I'm very, I have a very, the big cruisers, I'm like, it's just so much weight to be hauling around. I can be all blah, 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 so I can make that noise. I don't need that.
What's that noise again, Robbie?
Kind of reminds me of the Dodge Tomahawk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, was a concept bike that Chrysler built back in 2003 around a Viper V10 engine.
Yeah, it was sort of ridiculous. I mean, that thing, it was the same thing where you're like, oh, look at me. I'm like, you're laying down. You're so close down to the ground. I'm like, okay, so now you got a V10. You're going on an incredibly quick, fast bike, but you can't see anything. It's if you're out in the salt flats, cool. If you're on the road, I don't know what's going on. What's coming up next? Who knows? I just ran over a box. Now I'm dead.
And the other concept that BMW showed is the new Vision Alpina Coupe. So Alpina was a brand that did custom versions of BMWs for many, many years. They're basically more luxurious versions of conventional BMW models with more performance too. And last year, BMW acquired Alpina and brought them in-house. And now they've done this Vision Alpina Coupe, which it's a big 2-door coupe. I don't know. I mean, just when BMW was getting away from the massive kidney grills, they bring it back on this thing.
I like everything about this except for that huge grill, which is a pretty signature thing. But like from the profile and the back, it's gorgeous from the back. But I don't like that really angular and really aggressive. It's too much. I don't know. What do you think? You like it?
I think BMW broke me. So now I'm like, oh, that looks nice. Looks fine. I think for an Alpina, for the size of this vehicle, for what this vehicle is, I'm fine with the giant weird grill.
Okay.
Alpina used to make typewriters, and they also have a wine.
What?
They also have a wine cellar. I went to Alpina like years ago.
How do you even know this?
I went there.
Oh, okay.
I went to Alpina like years ago on we drove to Alpina, and then we went to Lake Como for the Concorso, the Eleganza. It was it was really hot. They didn't have air conditioning, but they had a wine cellar, and we all ended up hanging out in the wine cellar. But they make typewriters.
I mean, in profile, this thing looks great.
Yeah.
The profile is great. It's a really pretty vehicle. It's just except for that one whole front thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't like the fact there's no buttons inside.
Yeah, well, they're starting to do that on all the BMWs.
Is there a significant lack of buttons? Dang it.
I know. Oh, the S-Class, you can get it. It has, you can control the vents with your screen, but also with your hands.
Oh, there you go.
So they figured it out.
Oh, so you can do either or. It's your choice.
Either or, yes.
Whatever level of comfort you are,
whatever
control
you
are comfortable with. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
All right. Let's respond to a couple of listener emails.
Okay.
The first one came from Glenn. It says, big fan of wheel bearings, especially given Nicole's Jeep adventures. I thought you would find the linked YouTube interesting. I think she may have gotten off easy. And
so, Glenn, I went and watched that. Just like, wait, this is directed at me. So this poor woman had a Grand Cherokee 4xe that in the middle of the night decided to have a thermal runaway issue with the battery, and it started smoking and popping. And there's video there, and the whole fire department is out there, like her poor little cul-de-sac or whatever in her neighborhood has like just lined with fire trucks. They had to push it out of her driveway, and you see this. There's to be a dozen firefighters in full gear because you don't know what's going to happen when a battery does that, pushing it out of the driveway. But so there was some drama with it because it was the recall for those, because it's the same recall that was at the Wrangler 4xe that we still have, was that you were not supposed to plug it in to charge, which removes the central reason why you buy a plug-in hybrid, and it affected all the 4xEs, huge number of vehicles, and it was an issue for ages and ages and ages. And she did have a plugged in, which technically they tell you you're not supposed to do. And I guess shortly before this, because we've all been waiting forever for battery fixes for this, the dealership had called in a matter of weeks. We have your battery. Okay, I can't do it today. I've got work stuff. We'll schedule it. And in that time, that's when the thermal runaway happened. So I guess there's some consternation about how Jeep people are going to handle it and how the dealership or her insurance, I guess I should say, is going to handle it. So it caused an issue. But it's kind of funny because not funny, but horrifying, I should say. You see this poor woman, on her Ring camera, her car is just letting out lovely little puffs of gray smoke. It's like you can see it coming from underneath the car. And then she's out there in her nightgown, in her robe, watching. Then her husband's out there also in his jammies trying to unplug the car, So it was a big thing. So, yeah, mine did not burst into flame, my Wagoneer S, thankfully. It did everything else but before I got rid of it.
It just died.
It just died. It said, you know what, I'm done. I've chosen not to do the work of being a vehicle that moves. Although I did learn something in this video. So the video, you should post the link, Sam, because it was a guy who is a former firefighter, is a firefighter. I forgot which now. But he talks about how
he's still an active firefighter.
Still active. And in it, he talks, I did not know this until he mentions it in the course of when he's talking about the video and what happened. And you can see the gray clouds of smoke coming out from it and poofs from underneath the vehicle. And he actually talks about how it has that smell of a battery. And I've never smelled a battery go into thermal runaway like that. I don't know what it smells like. But he said it's very distinctive, especially if you're a firefighter. You're like, oh, crud. You know exactly what that smell is. But he also said it's incredibly toxic. It creates this vapor cloud that is really, really, really very bad for you. And if you wait until you sort of see it, or until there's a huge amount of, little flame smoke to put on your gear your respirator as a firefighter, you've probably waited too long, and that's not good. And not that all of us have respirator gear in our garages if we have an EV or a hybrid that could go into thermal runaway, But I thought that was an interesting note just in general. You don't want to be close to the car anyway because it can catch fire, but you want to stay away from it and not be breathing that smell. I mean, it's logic. You don't want to just breathe in smoke, but I think if you're smelling, you're like, oh, a little bit of smoke. But that vapor cloud is incredibly dangerous, apparently. It's really, really bad for you. So stay away if that ever happens. Be aware that the vapor cloud is a thing. Thank you, firefighter guy. And Glenn, because I never would have known that.
All right. And then from Leof Win, I think. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Just wanted to let you know that this is entirely your responsibility, all your fault, and had to learn to drive a stick again. And he sent us a picture of his new car, his new ride, which is a brand new Miata RF in Soul Crystal Red.
Which is the only color to get. Well done. Yeah. Well done. You got the right color. Nicely done, you. I'll take responsibility for that being us.
Yeah. I had already responded back by email earlier this week, acknowledging that, yes, we will fully take responsibility.
We'll fully take responsibility.
I admire your choice.
Yeah. That was a good choice. You got the good car.
You got a good car.
The answer is always Miata. Unless
the answer is
you're me.
Always Miata. Yeah.
As long as you fit, the answer is Miata is always the answer.
Yes, as long as you fit. Small caveat.
Yeah.
Even then, it might be the answer. Just deal with it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye. Everyone.
Bye.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.